Well, there has been some sporadic fighting overnight, and actually some protesters did attack the headquarters of a group called the Tawhid group. But as officials here told us, actually the military that is based very near to that Tawhid group stepped in immediately and managed to defuse the situation. Now, this morning, you probably see in the background, there's normal traffic, but all shops are closed except for a few food shops. From what we understand, there's a mixture of anger, but also some armed groups had issued a warning to shop owners, telling them that if you open your shops today, then we will consider you traitors. Now, we were in a meeting earlier with some officials here in Tripoli, because they had held also an emergency meeting to try to see what they could do with the security and try to temper the anger of people. We did hear sporadic gunfire when we were in that meeting. Now, people on the street tell us that those were actually armed men who are going around in motorcycles, shooting in the air, but just warning shop owners that they must stay shut today. A lot of anger on the street. Many people I spoke to said, you know, we as Sunnis feel targeted, and not only because of this last killing. We feel targeted since back in 2005 when Rafi al-Hariri was killed, and ever since, all attacks had been targeting either Sunni people or people who are politically close to the March 14 alliance. So certainly a lot of anger, and I think now the challenge for the authorities here is to try to temper that anger and make sure it doesn't go out of hand like it has happened here before.
And Hoda, whatever happens in Syria, I mean, it's having a direct impact on that town there, isn't it?
Absolutely, especially here. I did ask earlier one of the officials how come the let's say, Alawite neighborhood, Jabal Mohsen, which is seen as a pro-Syria neighborhood, has not retaliated, even though it was targeted by gunfire overnight. And he said, well, they had orders for restraint. And I said, where did these orders come from? And he said, directly from Damascus. He said, this is the city where you really feel the same problems that are on the front line inside Syria could happen here. And that is really the big worry. You know, at a certain point also, Wissam al-Hassan comes from this area. One of the challenges the officials here are trying to tackle is how to go ahead with the funeral. It's not clear yet whether he's going to be buried in Tripoli next to Rafi al-Hariri or here in a little village that is not very far from Tripoli. But certainly his family will be holding what traditionally is done in Muslim societies, 3 days of open house and mourning. And that in itself is a huge challenge for the city.